So hello and welcome to the Norwegian Epic. I get annoyed when people say something is quite unique or it's very unique, because there aren't degrees of uniqueness. Something is either unique or it's not. Just like you can't be half pregnant. You're either pregnant or you're not. I'm waffling on about this as I'm going to describe the Norwegian Epic as a unique ship. And I mean, there's nothing else like it out there. It's the only ship of its style or class in the Norwegian fleet, as its sister ship was never built after Norwegian fell out with the shipyard. So there's no ship like it, and that's perhaps a little odd. If the design features deployed on the Epic were good, they'd have been recycled onto other Norwegian ships, even if they'd had to design that into a different class of ships and get them built in different shipyards. But they haven't been. The Epic is going to be a ship you either love or hate, as some of the design features will evoke a strong response from you. I made a fairly opinionated review of my Mediterranean cruise on this ship in this video. I also reviewed my cabin, as you can find in this video, again with a good slice of opinion thrown in. But in this video I'll aim to be as factual as possible, and I'll just present the features to you in my day in the life format, my way of trying to make a ship tour video interesting. But stay tuned until the very end, as I will deviate somewhat from my own format and give you my opinion on the ship. So if that sounds good, stick around. Hi, I'm Matt and I love cruising. I love the ships, the places you visit, the entertainment, and every now and again I'll also enjoy a drink. So subscribe to see where I go next and perhaps get some inspiration for your next cruise. So unless you had a really good night, your day will probably start with you waking up in your cabin. And you're on a cruise, so you'll be hungry. It's time for breakfast. I'm going to pretend it's a sea day and you have no shore excursions to rush to enjoy. The most popular choice is to keep it quick and simple at the buffet, or the garden cafe as it is branded. This is a pleasant space that feels airy, and we never had trouble finding a seat. It offers the usual breakfast options including egg stations, although the ship was in European cruise mode so there was no fried bread. You could also have a room service breakfast, although I never do, as I don't like picking my breakfast the evening prior, and everything ordered through room service beyond a basic continental breakfast will incur a delivery fee. After breakfast it's perhaps time to explore the ship until the sun has heated up the lounges. The Epic is 156,000 tonnes of weight, so it's a big ship. It was the third largest ship in the world when it was launched and is still in the top 30, so there is quite a lot to see, although the design of the ship means that sightlines are rather broken up so it never feels huge. There's the usual range of shops and public areas to explore, and of course an art gallery. This is probably the central focal point they designed onto the ship, although that is one of the restaurants down there and none of the entertainment takes advantage of this space. And this is the lobby bar where trivia and other entertainment takes place and is probably the largest open space inside the ship. You can also enjoy a Starbucks if you must, and there's a large spa and a large gym, neither of which I felt the need to visit or film. Before you know it, it'll be time to eat again, lunch this time. The buffet is a good option again, and the main restaurants may open to offer a formal service. There's two other options though, the first being O'Shea's, the Irish pub. As with most pubs at sea, there's a minimal draft beer offering, so in that respect it's not at all like an Irish pub, but there's a decent choice of pubby food options in a variety of shades of beige if you tire of the buffet. And as the buffet winds down as the afternoon progresses, the Great Outdoors buffet will take up the slack. This is located next to the pool and is a good option if you don't want to stray far from your lounger, or if you've just got back aboard after exploring the port and need some calories quickly. It was a clear step up from the usual burger and hot dog kiosk you often find beside pools. And the afternoon is probably going to involve some pool time. A couple of smallish, deepish pools are available, surrounded by a larger area, which looks like it should be a largish, shallowish pool, but isn't. I asked the lifeguard whether the water level is ever raised, and he said it wasn't because the design of the surrounding space wouldn't actually contain the water, which to me is a little odd, but both Norwegian ships I've been on have been like this, so it must be a Norwegian thing. But the headline attraction is the water park, including the first bowl slide at sea. I didn't want to intrude on anyone else's privacy and couldn't film myself, so here's a recreation of what the experience is like. There are 3 other slides of varying size and speed, and they didn't seem to mind having portly middle-aged blokes like me riding them. A few attractions for the little ones too, and alongside 4 or 5 hot tubs, the pool deck is a decent offering, not up to the standards of more modern ships, but diverting enough. It may be naive of me to suggest that the drinking will not have started by the time evening comes around, particularly as there will have been waiters circulating on the pool deck since 10 AM, but either way, the Waves bar by the pool may be the place to start. There's also an H2O complex, based on an Ibiza beach club towards the front of the ship, although somewhat annoyingly it was closed for maintenance on our cruise. Many ships have a panoramic indoor bar high up on the ship, but the Epic doesn't, which is a bit of a shortcoming. That space on the Epic is taken up by the premium Haven complex available to suite occupants, which includes its own pool, which I never got to see. There are a few bars lower down inside the ship, specifically the Shaker's Martini Bar and the neighbouring Maltings Beer and Whiskey Bar, as well as the Atrium Bar by Guest Services and the Cascade Bar, which serves as the casino bar, hence the built-in slot machines. None of these are huge, and the Martini Bar in particular was very popular, but there are certainly plenty of options. Plus you could always go back to Oceans for just a drink. The Epic also has an ice bar branded in conjunction with Sky Vodka. For $20 you can rug up and enjoy 2 cocktails in below 0 temperatures. We didn't, but I have before, and it is quite fun. It could be a perfect antidote to a sweltering day walking around a port. When dinner time comes around, Norwegian's freestyle cruising strategy really shows its value, as you aren't locked into a specific dining time or venue. There are 2 main dining rooms which offer the same menu but have different themes. The Manhattan room has a jazz group in residence while you dine, which allowed dancing to break out quite regularly. Plus we enjoyed a dance show from the ship's cast on one evening. The Taste restaurant offered a more contemporary feel, and although I thought the service was better here, the entertainment came only from an automated piano in that odd atrium. Within your base cruise fare you'll also have the option of eating in Oceans, up in the buffet, or at the Shanghai restaurant, which you'll not be shocked to learn offered Chinese food. We didn't visit on this cruise as we'd been underwhelmed by the equivalent offering on the Norwegian Gem, although several people rated the venue very highly on the Epic. If you feel like spending some money, or have some speciality dining included in your package as we did, then you have 6 choices. We very much enjoyed the French Le Bistro venue, although it was less enjoyable in the Cagney's Steakhouse. Kitchens cannot have open flames on ships, and whilst many ships can still produce an excellent steak, they struggled on the Epic, even though the meat they were working with was excellent. We could also have visited the adjacent Charascaria or an Italian restaurant called La Cucina. The names used across the ship seemed designed to help decode the offering. And the options were rounded out with a teppanyaki restaurant and a sushi bar innovatively called Wasabi. And a couple of those venues also offered bars. After dinner, or perhaps before it if you're really weird, it's time for some entertainment. And this is where the Epic tries to really distinguish itself. Whether it succeeds or not is something I'll return to at the end of the video. The main theatre is a large and typical cruise ship theatre which offered guest performers and some branded West End / Broadway offerings. Check out my review of the cruise for what was offered on ours and what I thought of it. Outside the main theatre there are 3 other performance venues, which is the most I've come across on a ship of this size. The Headliners Comedy Club is an intimate venue, well suited to comedy, but unfortunately, as none was offered on our cruise, it was a little less well suited to musical performances as the sightlines were terrible. The Spiegel Tent is a sort of circus venue, or at least I think it is, as I never found anything actually offered in there. Let me know in the comments if you've seen this venue in action and what it's used for when it is. And the Cavern Club was a very popular venue, loosely based on the long demolished Cavern Club in Liverpool. It was the home of the ship's Beatles tribute act, but if you wanted to see them, to avoid the disappointment of not being able to squeeze into the space, my advice is to be early. Be very, very early. There's a large casino, although again its design is a little disjointed so you don't really realise its true size as it is broken into a number of zones. There's also a cigar bar, which is not that common on more recent ships. No cigarettes allowed though. And it would be easy to miss, but entertainment was often offered after dark up on deck by the pool, where the waves bar and the late night buffet in the great outdoors actually worked together really well. And finally, the Ultra Bliss Lounge is a late night party space. It was frequently used as a private venue on our cruise, but if you wanted to dance until dawn, this would be the best place to do so. So that's the Norwegian Epic, a unique ship with some unique features, and a ship I'll never go on again. I really like the ideas behind some of the design decisions, but the execution of those ideas just didn't work. Having lots of themed performance venues is great, but they have to work as venues, and I just didn't feel that they did on the Epic. Plus, as I showed in this video, the cabins really aren't great. It is telling that Norwegian has not repeated many of these features on other ships. I know that some people really love the Epic, and these grumbles certainly didn't stop me from having a great time on board. I still really like what Norwegian is trying to do with its freestyle cruising strategy, and I am keen to see it manifested on one of their newest ships. But if you are considering the Epic, I hope this will help you understand how the ship experience is likely to be different from what you're used to, so you can make an informed decision before committing. So thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Please give this video a like if you did, and leave me a comment. Have you sailed on the Epic? Would you? Am I right that it is one of the stranger ships out there? Please subscribe if you're new, and if you'd like to support what I'm doing more directly, I have a Patreon account, the link to which is in the description below. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.